Alright guys, welcome back. Today we are going to make a real quick test of Drift Tech in 6.0. I want to see if the the worst car, has improved from last version. Drift Tech had the nickname Drift Wreck in 5.2, it still has it, and it's because it's terrible. If you try to go in a straight line with that car, it's gonna chuck you off to the right of the track. And as you can see right now, it's not doing that. So in that regards, there has definitely been a significant improvement. It's even drifting, which is nice given the name of this car. The issue I do have with it right now is that it is a little unstable. But other than that, the car handles much better, way much better than 5.2. Although I do guess that is not saying much. But I mean, we take those, right? Here in 6.0, gravity is reduced, so even though we did have that advantage of skipping over the Acceleracer, the reduced gravity does make us go slower in a couple of sections, so I do feel that it kind of evens out, so it's going to be a fair test. I could not complete Storm Realm in 5.2, perhaps it's possible, but I do not have the patience nor the time to do that right now. But in 6.0, it seems to be much more viable with Drift Tech, which is nice. The reason I'm choosing Storm Realm for this test is that it is definitely, in my opinion, the greatest challenge in Project Acceleracer, perhaps second only to the Ultimate Race, and even then, I'd be kind of hesitant. Although, the challenge being not only completing the round, but finishing it under the 7 minutes mark. Now, I'm certain, since I did so as well, that a lot of people probably passed this realm in 5.2 by spamming Accelerachargers in order to get to the end. However, that is no longer a possibility in 6.0. So, like, the problem is oh my god, I got a little nervous with the lightning right there, sorry about that. So the problem is that we're gonna need to find methods of completing Storm Realm consistently for new players, since it's not gonna be as easy as it was in 5.2. Even if the gravity is returned to normal, the big issue is that the lack of Accelerachargers are gonna make it much harder to nice, much harder to complete Storm Realm. So I don't think Drift Tech is ever gonna be a viable answer to get the Acceleracharger. But what I do want to test is if it can finish Storm. If it can finish it, then the car is good enough for most content. Perhaps not this, but everything else, it'll be good. It also means it's a significant improvement from how it was in the previous version. It means that the devs are definitely listening to us, which I know they are. But in case anybody just wants to see that, and just see improvements from 5.2, this is also a great way to see that. 6.0 is not yet available. This is a test version, which I've been lucky enough to have been given access, and I'm performing tests mostly to find bugs, and I also like to use it as a way to find out how the gameplay is going to be for newer players in 6.0, since without the Accelerachargers, I do feel it's going to be much more difficult than 5.2. And of course, a lot of veterans are not going to have much issue, either because they're that good, or because they will probably be able to pass their saves from 5.2 to 6.0. But for those newer players, I do think we need to start finding out ways to make this game easier, or at least more enjoyable. Drift Tech is definitely not that, but at least you'll be able to see that it is somewhat viable. Alright, let's be careful in this section since it's a little bumpy and it likes to throw drift tech off. This is not the first time I'm trying this, by the way. Okay, that lightning was very close, but we managed to dodge it. Nice drift to avoid the lightning. Now let's just keep this drift this way. Let's just boost straight into the loops. 517, 520 for us to be starting loops is pretty fine, pretty alright. Definitely could be possible. Let's try to stick to the middle of the road no matter what. And hopefully this will be over before we know it. Right, middle of the track, yeah. The car likes to fishtail a bunch, which is an issue, but it is manageable. It is possible to get it under control. Let's be very, very careful in this big loop. It's best to go slow there and then boost yourself through kind of like the straight of that curve. Alright, let's not get too overconfident here. Alright, those are 3 out of 5. Nice and easy, middle of the track, don't try to get cocky, and things will probably end up going our way. And I won't even look at the clock, because that will probably make me get nervous and mess up. So let's finish this. Let's be very careful in this curve. Yeah. I hear you. Alright, we've got 10 seconds. Can we do it? I don't think so. Oh, gosh darn it. We're so close. If we hadn't messed up a couple of times back there, we probably would have been able to do it right on time. But, gosh darn, 7 minutes and 5 seconds for drift tech. Come on guys, that... If anyone's played 5.2, you know that is not normal. The car is definitely improved from last version. However, I do think it has some issues. Oops. I do think it has some issues with its handling. Now pay attention, don't ignore that carbide right there. When I turn the car's wheels and I let go, it goes back normal speed, right? Like how you would expect a car to do so in real life. Which might not surprise some of you, but trust me, that's not good. If we then pick another car, such as Power Rage, which is, in my opinion, one of the best cars in the game, even in this version, you can see first off the wheels turn much quicker, and you immediately can go back like to normal, and that makes making corrections in this game, in this car, my bad, much easier than in Drift Tech. I think that is the reason Drift Tech was fishtailing so much. It's also the reason why correcting in that car is so difficult. So if that could be changed, Drift Tech might be a little better. But honestly, I think that it is a drastic improvement from what the car was in 5.2, and that, like, we should be grateful for that, honestly. So yeah, if you want to use Drift Tech, go ahead, it's definitely possible. But for Storm Realm, trust me, it is extremely difficult. Once 6.0 comes out, of course. In 5.2, just don't touch the thing. It is a killing machine, but it likes to kill its drivers, not the enemies. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of educational content, I guess, or at least comparative from 5.2 to 6.0. 6.0 is not yet out, just want to point that out again. But this test build does allow us to get some insight on how the final version of the game is going to pan out, and probably find as many like little issues as we can, and that way let the devs know so that they can change them and make a better game for all of you guys. So that was it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.